Schools will never teach you AI. Not properly, not in time, but honestly, they will never teach you. Because fundamentally, the education system was designed to pump out good employees, and it is physically impossible for these education systems to actually teach you something like AI. So, I'm Girish, 18 years old, self taught. I'm curious about AI and I build real products with this AI tools. And as I go deeper and deeper into this, I understand that there is a huge gap between what schools actually teach you and how the real world actually works. So let's get deeper into it. So here's the first issue, the speed problem. AI moves insanely fast. There's a new tool, there's a new trend, there's a new model every week and month. But schools, they move in decades. They move too slow. And you cannot blame teachers as well because they are pressurized with syllabus, and maybe a teacher is genuinely interested to teach his or her students about AI, but they have to complete the syllabus, they have to prepare students for exams. So that's why this entire education system is, with the teachers and students are trapped inside a bubble and they cannot see outside the bubble how fast the world is moving regarding AI. And the thing that concerns me is schools and the entire education system actually prepares students to go out and do jobs. Okay, they are pumping out graduates, so these people will no longer have jobs. AI is going to take away their jobs. And there are some people who are saying that AI is not only going to take away your jobs but create more jobs, but the amount of jobs that are lost is not equal to the amount of jobs that will be created. That's the main part most people are missing. And schools are training these students for a world that will no longer exist. That's why these education systems cannot keep up with the speed, and they cannot just teach something which moves insanely fast. Here's the second part. AI isn't the subject. Okay? When I say schools can never teach you AI, and someone might say schools just should add AI as a subject, but AI is not a subject. It's not like history, mathematics, English and science. Okay, AI is something you learn by doing it, not by memorization. And AI is all about a learning loop. It's about experimenting, prompting, failing, adapting, and none of this actually fits the grading mechanisms the current education system uses. You cannot judge a person's ability to use AI with a multiple choice test. There's no exam for that. A person builds something, prompts, experiments and fails, learns over those mistakes, and finally builds something bigger. And so what happens? So AI is either completely ignored or it just turns into a AI literacy module where they teach you about machine learning history, maybe how it evolved, right? But they don't teach you about how to actually use these AI tools. So the third part, AI rewards curiosity, but school rewards obedience. This is the part I keep coming back because the entire education system was designed to produce a reliable, predictable workforce that would help the industrial economy. But AI, it's not like that. It amplifies curiosity. Look, school just puts everything in a box. Math is math, English is English, science is science. They're all subjects, right? But with AI, it's not the case. The person who gets most out of AI will be the person who experiments with it, fails with it, pushes these AI tools into uncomfortable circumstances and fails publicly and builds all over again. It's about that mindset, experimentative, systems thinking, right? And with AI, you have to connect these dots. You have to know the business model. You have to understand and be able to communicate your idea clearly. That is the whole point. That is systems thinking, and you develop it by actually building real products, not by memorization. Think of calculator. Maybe when a tool like calculator came up, these education systems panicked and banned their use and said that students should learn mathematics by themselves, not be dependent on such a tool. That's the pattern, right? Some of these technologies have faced in the past. So AI is the same way. A new tool has dropped, the education system doesn't adopt it, it resists it and discourages the use of it, but the world adopts anyway, and later these education systems try to, the schools and the education system try to play the catch-up game, but until then everything is normal. And by doing this, they are actually putting the students in the back seat. The students are the main victims here. Think of a student who is using these tools from the past 2 years. How much experience would he have? And think of the knowledge gap that's being created. So what should you be doing? You have to learn AI. That's the most simple answer. But how do you do this? Where to start? Maybe the simplest way to start is meta learning. I define it like the ability to teach yourself something in a short period of time, maybe in a week, maybe in 10 days. Actually, the schools should have been teaching these types of skills, but instead they do the opposite of that. So you have to learn AI by doing this, and not only consume content about it and fall into tutorial hell, but build real products with it, so that you go through a constant learning phase and develop systems level thinking. And I'm not an AI expert, I still have to learn so much, and that's why I call it as constant learning. You're learning it constantly. I think there's no end to this, because there are always new things coming up, and I'm making such content, and in my next video I will be definitely sharing with you the exact blueprint for this term that I use, constant learning, how to learn AI in the most simplest way right now, because it's already late. So see you in my next video.